Hi, I'm Nick Colangelo, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a very hard worker. I have two jobs. One is a used car lot that my family owns in Ballackinwood, where I do sales, and I also work at Carmine's Pizza in Bluebell, where I'm a delivery driver. On the weekends, I work there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I also have a full-time student at Temple's Fox School of Business. I consider myself to be a leader. I'm very passionate about my work. I love to be upbeat when I'm doing something and make people around me happy and passionate and want to do stuff. I have a very upbeat, optimistic attitude. I love challenges. I love completing tasks. I'm very determined. Um, Here's a story. When I worked at Carmine's, it was a Friday night and I was delivering to an elderly woman. And when I went there, I gave her the food and I was walking out and I heard a scream and a bang. And I ran back in and I saw her there. She was bleeding profusely. I quickly stopped the bleeding. I called the ambulance, and mind you, it was a Friday night, so I had 3 deliveries in my car. I called another person that was working with me. I gave them the 2 deliveries they were going the same way. Luckily, I gave them 2 deliveries. I found a number of her son that was next to the phone. I called her son. I waited for her son to get there and the ambulance, and she ended up being all right. Thank God I was there. But the moral of the story is, a week later, the son came back, and he was a sales rep for like a hospital or pharmaceutical. But anyway, our business, Carmine's, he was so impressed with what I did, he gave us an account there when we do like $1,000 a week catering for them. And my boss was very impressed by that, and now I manage the drivers on the weekends. I do the scheduling. If anyone has a problem with the deliveries, they call me. Now I'm going to tell you about a significant accomplishment in my life. It is getting into Temple and getting my associate's degree, which doesn't seem like a huge accomplishment for somebody. For me, it was. I went to Westchester out of high school, and I wasn't feeling school, so I worked for my dad for 2 years, and I didn't like it. The first year was great, and then I just realized I wasn't into cars or selling cars, and even though it appeared good, I was making good money, and everyone thought it was crazy to go back to school. I guess I'm just more extrinsically motivated, or more intrinsically motivated. If I was extrinsically motivated, I would have been more into like the money and the status. But I wasn't motivated. I wasn't passionate about what I was doing, and I didn't want to be another person. I didn't want to be my dad. I wanted to be my own person. So I went to Monco for 2 years, and I worked tirelessly, and I got into Temple, it was huge. It was one of the best moments of my life because I showed myself that I can really, if I really want something, I can do it. And working 40 hours a week and going to community college when I didn't have a major, it just showed me a lot about myself that I didn't know, and it really built confidence, and it translates to the workplace for me. Stuff that I've learned in my HRM class. I've learned a lot of helpful things in my HRM class. Two most notably, the first one would be just leadership, transformational leadership, like idealized consideration and intellectual stimulation and idealized influence and inspirational motivation. It was fascinating to learn how you could just motivate different people because everyone's so different, and you just find these things to motivate them, get everyone working. And I thought that was very fascinating to learn about that. And also the decision-making criteria, where you establish the decision-making criteria, you allocate the weights and list the alternatives, analyze alternatives, choose an alternative, and then you make your decision. And that was helpful for me because I'm very, very indecisive, and it was just good because I would mull over decisions, and I always thought I would make the wrong decision when I made a decision. But this way, you really take the time and you make the right decision. You weigh things out, and you don't regret a decision after because you know that it was the plausible decision. And that's a big thing that I learned that I'm going to use going forward in my career. I've learned a lot of things in my HRM class, and hopefully it will translate into the business world in about 2 years when I get out of school.